well-known lawyer in India who fought a very important case on the book written by Wendy Doniger. And it became a big controversy. I want her to explain exactly what happened, because there was a lot of misinformation in the media about what exactly happened. So tell us what the case was about.
Rajiv ji, firstly, it's an honor to share the stage with you.
My honor.
And secondly, I don't know why this case was given so much of hype. It was a simple case for us. Simple case means when we read the book and we saw such insulting and defamatory passages like Mangal Pandey was always under influence of opium, Jhansi Ki Rani was loyal to the British, Vivekanand and Gandhi were asked, what will you have in dinner? They said, give us beef. And Shivalinga was the male sexual organ in erection. Such erotic description. We immediately thought we'll go to the court of law and file the case.
Now this is Wendy Doniger,
Wendy Doniger,
famous
Hindus and alternative history.
Yeah, the famous Hindu-phobic writer in US.
And she writes such rot.
Yes.
And thereafter we went to the court of law saying that we want these passages deleted. I reiterate, we never asked for banning of the book at all. See, never, ever.
See, this is very important for people to know. There was no petition that the book should be banned.
Not at all.
They just made it into banned. They've asked for banned, Hindus banning book. They just asked that the information should be corrected.
Yes. What we said was, please delete these insulting and derogatory passages from this book.
And routinely, responsible publishers and authors make corrections. They issue a new edition.
They always do so.
Yeah.
We never broke glass pans. We never had jhandas all around. We never did protests. Nothing of that
You went
sort.
to the court.
We simply went to the court of law, simply telling them, please delete these passages. Then thereafter, we had summons served on Wendy Doniger, Penguin Publishers. They came to the court, except Wendy Doniger. Penguins came to the court. They were penalized also with thousands of rupees for not taking up their case properly also there. And why don't you come and give your response properly?
Right.
Wendy was
too arrogant.
Too arrogant.
Yeah.
They don't have respect for the court of law here.
In
I
India,
must
they
say
think
that.
they're above the law in India.
Yes, and thereafter, just before cross-examination, when they knew that we'll be cross-examining them, having a decree in our favor, hopefully, they came to our office and said, we want a compromise and a settlement. We asked them, what sort of a settlement? They said, we will withdraw this book, we will pulp all these copies, we will never ever publish this book again. We said, fine, what do we have to do? They said, simply withdraw your lawsuit.
So they chickened out because they did not want to be cross-examined in the court.
Absolutely.
And embarrassed, and you would have had a victory. And so they came and said, we will voluntarily withdraw. So the idea of withdrawing the book is not you demanding it. They wanted to withdraw the book.
Why should we demand?
Yeah.
For last 4 years, our petitioner, Dinanath Batraji, who was more than 80 years old, he used to stand there for 4 hours in the court, waiting for Penguins to come, waiting for Wendy to come. He was there, the judge also said, such a sincere person, why don't you reply properly? And for 4 years, we pursued it peacefully, patiently, and just before cross-examinations, they said, we want a compromise.
So basically it means that you didn't ask them to withdraw, they wanted to withdraw because they did not want to answer questions in court.
Absolutely.
So this is something that's very important. Now the pulping,
yes,
they actually cheated because they're going on selling the book.
What I'll say is, earlier act was illegal, but thereafter what they did was, when they changed the publisher, I'll say this was unethical, it was immoral on their part. And they have no principles. Thereafter,
it's published by Rupa, correct?
Yes, thereafter. I'll say one more thing. We filed a criminal complaint against them under section 295 A IPC, which says any deliberate and malicious attempt to defame a particular religion will be punishable under the IPC, Indian Penal Code. Now, what we say, the code says any deliberate and malicious attempt.
Correct.
They said the criminal law in India, we got afraid of and hence we withdrew. But why do you deliberately and maliciously insult any religion? That is the question. And if you were innocent, you had no doubt of the law, you could have gone ahead with it.
Yes. Now tell me, the foreign media, they twisted this.
Absolutely.
So how do you feel? Do you feel that was unfairly represented?
My God. Thereafter, we saw the network of these communist intellectuals We thought it's a simple case. Penguin came, they said it's a, in fact they told us it's a bad book, we want to withdraw it. We said fine. They withdrew it, and thereafter from local newspapers to till BBC, New York Times, all international media, there was such a campaign of intolerance against us. They gave the headlines as book has been banned in India.
And some
freedom of expression under threat in India.
yeah.
Hindu extremist fringe elements. And what did we do?
They're attacking Western scholars, all that kind of stuff. Yeah.
See, no international media or Indian media, no channel, no print media showed what was her offense.
Right.
Nobody showed that she wrote that Mahatma Gandhi and Vivekananda asked, give us beef. Nobody showed that she referred to Shashi Tharoor for her footnotes also. Such a shallow writing. What they showed and discussed and waited was that, oh, she's a Chicago scholar. Maybe, yes, maybe she has authored hundreds of books. But this was an offense in Indian law to derogate a particular religion.
Yes.
That nobody shows.
Now, I'll tell you a little bit before I want your opinion on this new book.
Yes.
I wrote a lot of articles on Wendy Doniger at a time when she was unknown in India,
Yes.
about 15, 18 years ago. And most of the Indians did not care. They said, "Kyun kar rahe ho? Why are you starting a conspiracy theory? Kya ho raha hai?" Nobody wanted it. I had to fight very hard to convince people this is serious. And then when it became serious, I turned all those articles into a book. Ironically, that book was published by Rupa,
All right.
which later changed sides. And that book was called Invading the Sacred.
Yes.
It was with 3 other editors, not my name as the editors, but the content inside mainly was my stuff. Now that book became quite popular. It created a lot of awareness, and one of the results was this case started. But I want you to verify it was not on my behalf, and I had nothing to do with the case. You can verify that, because I'm also being accused this Rajiv Malhotra has done this stuff.
I think I have met you for the first time
Today.
today.
But yes, I just want to clarify from you, I neither paid the money for it, it was not my money, I was not the petitioner, I had nothing to do with the case. I wrote a book bringing awareness to Wendy Doniger, that's all I did. Then other people, because they were aware and they have every right, they decided to take action, and they took action in a very legal way, a very proper way. They didn't want to ban the book, and the Penguin people of their own withdrew the book.
Absolutely.
So those are the facts.
Our petitioners were retired ambassadors and freedom fighters.
Very good.
And we did not spend much in the lawsuit also. Just the money spent for the summons. Otherwise, it was pro bono.
Yeah, that's
we
very
owe
good.
something for the society and the nation also.
No,
Why not?
that's very good. So now I'll tell you something very strange.
Yes.
That book, Invading the Sacred, containing my writings, was by Rupa.
All right.
And they were very proud of it, they were doing this. But RK Mehra, the owner, retired, handed the company to his son.
Yes.
And Kapish, he's a very, very nice guy, but Kapish had new management come in and all that. They stopped promoting our book, and they took Wendy Doniger's book.
All right.
That is the Hindu, they got republished by
Yes,
Rupa.
yes.
So that is another side story, that how publisher also changed sides. That's a very interesting thing.
It's a whole story of illegality, immorality, and
Misrepresentation.
unethical conduct. But I'll
Misrepresentation.
say one more thing. Like recently we had this symptom. I'll call you as a doctor of the entire, who has diagnosed this problem in India. Reason being, when we were students, we always thought that RN Bahar se aaye, Bhagat Singh is a terrorist. These things are, errors which can be rectified. We never thought these are part of the larger design.
Right.
How to defame India, how to defame Hinduism
Right.
also, and the history also, to distort it. Then thereafter we went to the college, and then in the college also we were taught in history course, Ravan ki cheek se Sita paida hui, ek hai Ramanujan's article. Ravan Sita ka baap tha. We said, what is this nonsense going on? Thereafter we filed the cases and won cases against other publishers also. Thereafter now, after reading your academic Hindu phobia, I think every proud Indian must read this book, because this book has the diagnosis that this is not only the Indian design, this is the international design. You create fissures, you expose the fault lines, then thereafter you produce entire literature, hate India literature, hate Hindu literature, and thereafter exploit the situation.
But you see, the foreign people have built the master plan, but it is a lot of foolish Indians who are helping them. Our own sepoys, our own left are joined with them. अब वेंडी डॉनिगर के भी यहाँ बहुत पलटन है. ये वेंडी डॉनिगर के बहुत फैंस हैं इंडिया में.
You call them Wendy's children.
Wendy's
I
children.
read.
Devdutt Patnaik, he's a Wendy's child. He supports her. He writes endorsements for her. But he writes books on Mahabharata and Ramayana and all that stuff. So a lot of people think he's educating us about our dharma, but he's on both sides. He wants to sell books to Hindus, so he tells them what Hindus would like to hear. But he's a solid supporter of Wendy Doniger.
I think Hindu bashing has become a fashion.
Yes, it is
You
true.
bash Hindu, you are secular. And if you talk about Hinduism, they become so intolerant to it.
Yes.
And lastly, I will also point out one thing. Kanhaiya Kumar's case, I have gone through very, very thoroughly. And when on 9th of February, these few students, I'll call them Hate India Brigade, they gave the slogans, India ki barbadi tak jang rahegi, Bharat tere tukde honge inshallah, all these things. Thereafter, when they got the bail from High Court, I read the entire bail order. The bail order had one main question, which was, please, the teachers you see, from where did this anti-India, anti-nation poison came from? Thereafter, I researched on the YouTube and I saw that Marxist teachers teaching nationalism ki Pathshala. And all these things, what you have mentioned in your book and otherwise also, they have been teaching on the same lines. It's hate India, it's hate Hindus, and thereafter distortions of history. You have nothing good in your history and culture. What I say is that you are doing a great work for Hindus in India, the Hindus in the entire world, and I'll say for humanity. Because in our country, we don't tolerate, we accept others. It's a tradition of acceptance,
Yes.
and you are exposing those people who are intolerant towards us.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so
I
much,
want
sir.
to continue our discussion in future
We'll do so,
visits,
definitely.
because this is we've opened a big topic and there'll be lots more to talk about.
Absolutely.
Thank you very much, Monika ji.
Thank you so
Thank you.
much.